It's the Weather Blender blog. Hi everybody, Spencer Adkins, and we're checking things out on the new snowstorm that's going to kick in on the 20th and roll into the 21st. That's Thursday and Friday. Let's start off by looking at some of the products here. Let's look at what the current situation is at the surface map and the satellite and the radar, and you can pick out the snow nicely in the deep blues across eastern Nebraska, eastern Kansas, into Missouri. That's the snow heading our way. The low pressure, kind of those triple L's there, that's the machine doing that. If you clean it up, you just have one big area of low pressure moving into East Texas. That's the one we need to watch out for. That'll actually be sitting around the Bluefield area. This is another look, a different look at a weather model, kind of a cleaned up faux radar, if you will, showing us snow across Ohio and Kentucky. This is 7 o'clock Thursday night, and that's a good bit of snow right there. That'd easily be 2 to 3 inches of snow on that heavier band. This is a look at the advisories. Pink is a winter storm warning, and that's where we expect to see heavier snow, and the purple is where we have the advisories, and it's very easy to see that many of us are expecting to see some snow problems Thursday night and Friday. Most of these will drop off on Friday, except the mountains of West Virginia, some places holding on to that advisory until 1 a.m. Saturday. Okay, a little different way of looking at the model. Dashed blue lines, the air is cold enough to support snow. Those are thicknesses, we call that, and the green is precipitation. So just a little less fancy way of looking at the model. Again, you're looking at precipitation in the form of snow, Ohio and Kentucky, 7 p.m. Thursday on the NAM model. Looking out to 1 a.m. on the NAM model, now you start to see that snow moving east, but it's a nice swath. Again, that's the kind of thing that could put out 2 to 3 inches of snow, and we jump all the way out very quickly up to 7 p.m. on Friday, so that snow will be here still early in the morning, but then gone by the afternoon. High pressure out to the west, building in with drier air. Big area of low pressure off the coast of Maine, and both of those are influenced, they influence the wind in the fashion that brings it out of the north for us. Very cold night, single digits on Friday night. The low pressure that's over New Mexico moving into Texas will move across Texas, and then if you just look, see all those blocks there? And then I've circled the big low pressure, that's 7 p.m. Thursday. So basically, that low is going to make a big leap throughout the daytime. It'll kind of disappear and then reform there, kind of transmogrifying. Yeah, that's a Scrabble word. You should check that out. Just kind of shifting to the east. That happens almost like nature teleports those things, and it can happen. You see that happen over our neighborhood where the lows kind of dissipate from our neighborhood and show up off, let's say, Cape Hatteras. Sometimes you see that. This one's going to show up south of Bluefield. Position of the low is key. And now we're looking at the NAM model, how much snow it thinks we'll see by 7 a.m. Friday. This is the 12Z run of the NAM. We're going to check run to run here. Boy, this is showing us a kind of a warm wedge, only 2 inches of snow around Putnam County, the southern tip of Ohio, and let's say eastern Kentucky, with more, obviously 4 to 6 inches in high terrain, Fayette County, Nicholas County, and a 3 to 4 inch band across southern Ohio and up toward the Parkersburg area. Let's see how that compares. This is a look at the 18Z run of the same model, same time frame, and it has a little less snow. Those pinks, that's only 1 to 2 inches of snow for Charleston. East of Charleston, 3 inches. It's still up to 6 in the high terrain, but it's still 3 to 4 across Ohio, so interesting look there. The GFS model has a little more snow, 4 to 6 inches in the yellows and greens across Ohio, right down to about Lawrence County. It does show, though, that yellow band, again, stretching from Parkersburg just down to about Summersville, with about 3 inches stretched from Huntington to Charleston, and 2 inches, let's say, or less from Bluefield to the south, and also around the Pikeville area. That's very interesting. This is also interesting. This is the model we call RPM. It has a 2 to 4 inch swath across the higher terrain, Logan, also on up toward Beckley, and then it picks up 6 inches in Greenbrier, Fayette counties, and the mountains of West Virginia. There's that big lull again, Charleston, Huntington, and then we have a couple of stripes of 6 inches in central Ohio, just south of Columbus, with lots of 2 to 4 to the north of that. So what the model's trying to say is if that low is closer to Bluefield, that some warm air will get wrapped into that and kind of kill some of the totals. Now, but you know, I'm not completely buying that because there's enough cold air already in place, and neither is the Weather Service. This is a look at their numbers. You can see they're going with about 4 to 5 inches from Jackson, Ohio, on over to Spencer, West Virginia, and then not quite as much in the high terrain. This is, once again, out till 1 a.m. Saturday. Summersville only 3.9, but it picks up pretty substantially up toward Clarksburg, almost 6 inches. Only about 1 to 2 inches Williamson, and about 3 inches again between Beckley and Boone County around Madison. We kind of took the best of all these. We're going to go on the high end of the scenario in Ohio, especially for 4 to 6 inches of snow. This is our look at it from Thursday night to Friday morning because it will snow longer in those areas. So 4 to 6 inches in Ohio, stretched across US 33 and points north. So that means Ripley and Spencer could get into that. Obviously, at the south end of that, you're closer to 4. As you work north, closer to Columbus, you're closer to 6. So Athens, you're probably somewhere 4 or 5 inches of snow. 3 to 5 inches around Huntington, Charleston. again, I just think that we may be missing the ratios it takes. Well, when you get colder air in, it doesn't take as much water to snow. So again, I think the ratios might be a little higher, giving us a fluffier snow, 3 to 5 inches, 2 to 4 in southern West Virginia, and 3 to 5 again around Nicholas County, 6 to 10 though on the very highest peaks, about 3,000 feet. And that sort of jives. Here's another way of looking at it. Percentage odds of at least 4 inches of snow by Thursday. That starts Thursday 7 p.m. through Friday 7 p.m. It's a 40% stripe in the high terrain, and it's a 10% probability across the rest of West Virginia. I think that might be actually a little bit on the low side. Just many, many ways of looking at the information. So again, we obviously know there's going to be a good bit of snow out there on Friday morning. We want you to drive carefully. Just want to show you all the possibilities. I'm not going to be disappointed if it's only 1 to 3 inches Huntington, Charleston, but we're going to go with about 3 to 5 on the notion that there will be slightly colder air and more lift, with the low just a little bit to our south. Just have to watch out, see where those heavier bands set up. We'll monitor it. We'll let you know more right here. Thanks for joining us on the Weather Blender Blog.